Hello, and welcome to my unsolicited opinions about things you may or may not care about, 2018 edition. This is going to be my opinions about the best of 2018. Alright, if you disagree or agree, just leave it down in the comments below, and we can talk about it there. Let's just jump right into it. Alright, so I have my handy dandy little list here that I put together of things that I thought were great this year. Just a forewarning, I got real into K-pop. The first part of this video is going to be about K-pop. I'll put a little skip to option if you don't care about K-pop. I know it's very divisive. But yes, these are my K-pop best of 2018s. Alright. Got best boy group. BTS. I'm sorry, I don't need to explain myself. Killing the game. What's there to explain? That's why I have a second category. Best boy group other than BTS. And this one, I think I have yet to meet anyone else in person who knows about this group, but VAV, ooh, I really been digging them. Senorita is their big song out right now. Would highly recommend. Best girl group. Give it up for my girls, Red Velvet. Killing the game. Obsessed. I think I have listened to Bad Boy approximately 8,000 times. I don't even want to tell you how much time I've spent practicing the dance to Bad Boy. Maybe I'll post a video about the progress. I have been filming myself doing it to like watch my own progress, but that might be too cringy to put out there on the internet. So, but yes, best solo artist, K-pop solo artist, it's got to be DPR Live. That's another one that I don't actually know anyone else who's a fan, but I've been recommending them relentlessly. If you want to check out a song by them, their best one, in my opinion, is You Down. That is another one. It's probably like up there tied with how many times I've listened to Bad Boy by Red Velvet. Alright. So that is all my K-pop recommendations, all my K-pop best of 2018. So for my non-K-pop followers, which is all of them, because only my friends subscribe to me and none of them like K-pop. Here's my other best of 2018 stuff. As far as best of 2018 non-Korean music, I had a really hard time trying to pick things because it's not that I don't listen to non-Korean music, it's that I didn't necessarily find anything that was put out this year that I was super into, especially because the beginning of the year I was exclusively listening to 90s throwbacks. Like, I got really into a lot of 90s alternative stuff. So that was the beginning of my whole year. If you like look at my Spotify, that's all it is in like if you scroll back in the things I've saved. So yeah, I just didn't find that much that I didn't find much that was put out in 2018 that I got really into. There was some stuff that was put out in 2017, but I figured I should really just stick to things that were put out this year. So yeah, Ariana Grande, Thank You Next, is a banger. Is a banger. What do you want me to say? Post Malone did a lot of good stuff this year. Ooh, that song by Tyga and Offset, Taste, blew my mind. Been obsessed with that. But yeah, so other than those shout outs, I don't really have like a best of for stuff that came out in 2018 because I didn't listen to much new stuff. I've been watching a lot of anime recently, trying to learn Japanese, so it only makes sense that I've been watching a lot of anime. So I have a lot of best of 2018 anime. So once again, I was only choosing things that are still airing or aired this year. So here's my best of 2018 anime. Best shonen. Any questions? My Hero Academia. Obviously. Great show. Would highly recommend. Let's see. Best romance. Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. The name is a mouthful. The show is incredible. It's a great show. And I feel like that's a wall that a lot of non-anime fans like never cross. Is like they hear the titles of animes and they're like, that sounds dumb. Not interested in that. But yes, the name sounds dumb. I'm not trying to defend that, but I'm saying it's a great show. And I think that's something that like people who maybe didn't grow up with anime um, it's a wall they never get past. Um, so best slice of life, and I kind of broke down. So best romance, best slice of life, and best drama. Well, the best drama isn't a romance or a slice of life, but the way I'm differentiating between the best romance and the best slice of life, there's a lot of slice of life elements in Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, but it is kind of a more supernatural show. While at the same time, the show that I'm about to name for best slice of life does focus somewhat on romance, but I think that it really does do the best slice of life elements. Like it really feels, it feels very much like real life. And the best slice of life that I chose was my teen romantic comedy Snafu. Love it. I think actually Snafu 2 is what aired this year, but you gotta watch my teen romantic comedy Snafu to get Snafu 2. It's a great show. Like I said, wonderfully worked in slice of life. It really just, there's something just so comforting. I don't even know if comforting is the right word, about seeing characters on screen interacting in a way that you would interact with your high school friends or you would interact with your family. That show has the most wholesome, wonderful brother-sister relationship of any show I've ever seen. And I really like that. I had 5 brothers growing up, and so it really cringes me out when animes do like the like romance, not even like when like the younger sister like in love with the older brother. It cringes me out. That was not my experience. Being a younger sister was not like that. So I really love the relationship between the brother and sister in Snafu. Very heartwarming, very true to my own relationship with my brothers. So would recommend. And finally, best drama is the last anime that I put in. And I have to give it to Violet Evergarden. I have never cried. Like, I've cried at every single episode of Violet Evergarden. You hear me? Every single episode of Violet Evergarden, I cried. And it's like, it's a good cry, too. It's like, every episode is a work of art. Just, oh, oh. I don't want to spoil things, but, like, it's great. All right, so while we're still on the topic of Japanese TV, best reality show. I only watched 2 that came out this year, but best reality show, I gotta give it to Terrace House. Who does not love Terrace House? Please explain to me. It is chicken soup for the soul. It is so heartwarming. Like, they're just a big family. And even when there's drama, you know, it's like, it's drama that leads to personal betterment. Like, it's like usually, like, when they resolve the drama, they grow as a person. It's not just like mindless, senseless fighting. And there's romance, and it's like real romance. It's not just like hooking up. It's like the butterflies in your tummy kind of building of a romance. Oh, I just love it so much. I love Terrace House. I just like watched all of the new episodes that were just released on Netflix. I watched them all last night. It's a Christmas well spent. And then the last on the topic of Japanese language. So we talked about the shows I've been watching. I mentioned how I'm trying to learn Japanese. The best tool that I've found this year to help me learn Japanese has been Pimsleur, the Pimsleur series. It's been really helpful. I have the audiobooks on Audible, and it's like, speaks to you, you speak back to it kind of thing. Just the pacing of it has been so helpful for me. Like, it really... So after I sit down, I could sit down with my Genki textbook for 2 hours, leave the coffee shop, get home, try to remember anything that I just learned sitting down and looking at a book for 2 hours, and I won't remember anything. But I think I can still remember everything that I've learned to say with the Pimsleur series. So it doesn't help you read or write, but it helps you speak, which I think is really important, obviously, when you're trying to learn a language. Alright, we're going to move on to non-Japanese, or I guess we're getting to our American media. So for my best of American media, we're going to start with the best cartoon. I like cartoons, okay? I admit it. I'm a grown woman. I'm 23 years old, but do I still cuddle up with a hot cocoa and watch Adventure Time? Yes! Yes, I do, and I will not be ashamed. Best cartoon of 2018, Adventure Time. That last season was beautiful. And Adventure Time, yes, for adults who don't watch cartoons, the big hindrance there is that it is kind of a show that grows in age. So when the show starts, he's 12 years old. When the show ends, he's 17. So I think as it goes through, it's very much like Harry Potter, where the books grow with the main character. When he's 12 years old, he acts like a 12-year-old kid. And like as the show grows, there's so much development. Like, it's hard for me to just dive into it right now, but there's so much development of the main character that's not just fantasy. Like, it is like a fantasy show. It's like a post-apocalyptic world and stuff. But there are issues that he has to deal with that I think are really, first of all, great for kids that are watching to learn how to deal with and cope with those things for themselves. Like, having to deal with the fact that your dad is a deadbeat and doesn't want anything to do with you. That's a thing kids have to deal with. And that's a thing that they really tackle in the show and that he really grows through. There are other things in the show as well, like having to come to terms with being an amputee. he deals with that in the show. Like, it's not like, I feel like a lot of cartoons, a character will like their arm chopped off, but the next episode it's back. No, he loses his arm at one point, and he like has to suffer with that and come to terms with the loss of his arm and grow and become, doesn't let it hinder his life. I could go on and on. It's a brilliant show. and I would highly recommend it to anyone. But I digress. Best sitcom of 2018. I have to say, I thought about this long and hard. Nothing sticks out to me. Nothing that came out this year sticks out to me. I want to say Brooklyn Nine-Nine because I know that new episodes have come out, but I haven't watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine since I haven't watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine since I used to live with my old roommate, so it's been since 2017. No, it's been before that. So I graduated college in 2017. At that time, I was living with a roommate. We used to watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine together. I haven't watched it since then, so therefore I can't really recommend it as a best of 2018. And I've watched other sitcoms this year, but I haven't really gotten into any of them. So I have no recommendation for best sitcom. Alright, this one is my guilty pleasure. My boyfriend got me into it. It's a little embarrassing. But my boyfriend really loves Bravo TV, and he got me into Vanderpump Rules. It's our guilty pleasure show. It's garbage. The things that I said were good about Terrace House. The show is the opposite. It's all hooking up, all mindless fighting. It's everything that Terrace House is not. But it's so addictive. So, best reality show, Vanderpump Rules. Best book I read this year, I gotta give it to It Devours by Jeffrey Cranor and Joseph Fink, the creators of Welcome to Night Vale. It Devours was a great standalone book, a very accurate portrayal of modern dating, which wasn't the main plot of the story, but it was very accurate to the modern day relationship, and I enjoyed it. And just a great kind of like action adventure story. There's like a creepy cult, and there's like some like monsters from another world they're trying to summon. It's like a mystery action adventure with a splash of romance. What's not to love? It Devours. Best podcast. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I really love podcasts. I gotta say, best podcast has been one I've listened to for a few years now, but it's still the best podcast I have found. Is Rooster Teeth podcast. I love it. It's just a good time with some people who are hysterical, talking about things that I'm interested in, video games, movies, really just life in general. So, best podcast, Rooster Teeth podcast. Best YouTube channel. I watch a ton of YouTube, as I've mentioned, and it was really kind of difficult to pick a best YouTube channel, but I have to say the one that I consistently watch and I never miss a video is Taylor R. She used to be a Japan blogger. Now she lives in Hong Kong and Canada. So I started watching her for the Japan videos, but I continue to watch her because I just fell in love with her personality, and I just really enjoy seeing what she's up to. So yeah. And here is something that I'm now realizing I did not put in my best of list, but best movies of 2018. And I do have some opinions. I would say the first one that pops in my mind, best movie I saw in 2018 has got to be BlacKkKlansman. It was a wonderfully done social commentary. There's plenty of action. It's a very exciting movie. It really touches on the ways in which things are different, but also the way things are the same from then until today. Great movie. Very well done. And this one is, I guess, more of like nerdy movies, like nerd culture movies, this next one. But it's a very controversial topic. I know a lot of fans of the franchise were very divided on this movie, but I loved The Last Jedi. Okay? I'm gonna put it out there. I loved The Last Jedi. It was a great movie. It was a good time. I had fun watching it. And that is the important part. I had fun watching it. And a lot of people who are fans of Star Wars have nothing but complaints, and I'm just like, maybe you're just not actually a fan of Star Wars. Have you considered that? Because every movie that comes out, all you do is complain about how bad it was. Maybe you just don't like them. Maybe you're just not a Star Wars fan. And, ooh, I hope someone comes in these comments. I hope someone comes in these comments trying to fight me on how this was a bad movie, because I'm gonna fight you right back. Come at me in these comments if you hated The Last Jedi. Thank you. Boom. Alright, I can make a whole separate video about why The Last Jedi was a good movie. And you're like, oh, well, what about the casino scene? It was so bad. Okay, we'll talk about it. If anyone actually cares to discuss this, we could talk about it later. Alright, but I think that is all my best ofs for 2018. So, if you agree, disagree, leave them in the comments below. I will only get aggressive about The Last Jedi. It's fun aggressive. It's like debate aggressive, okay? I'm not an arguer. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you agree or disagree with any of the categories that I listed in this video. I am more than happy to take suggestions for things I could watch in 2019. I'm always looking to be entertained, you know? So yeah, leave me a comment down below, and thank you so much for watching this video of my unsolicited opinions about things you may or may not care about. Right. Bye!